Hi, Mighty Kayak Geek here. Just trying to explain a new way of doing the FG. I actually stole this off Anthony from Russet Bait and Tackle, so shout out to him. And this is his way of doing the FG. And the FG, once you get hold of the FG, it is quite a simple knot once you understand what you're doing, but it's freeing up your hands, which is the major problem, especially on a kayak. So what I generally do is I'm using right now a little bit of builder's rope. I've got the yellow for the line and the pink for the leader, and I've just put a little bit on the spool here, as you can tell. I run it all the way down my runners and then all the way back, and so you know how to do that, or you run it to your first runner and back. It's up to you. I'm just trying to figure out the best way to doing this. So what I usually do first is create just like a normal type of knot, nothing special. This is to go over your handle, just a normal little knot, whatever you feel comfortable with, and it's to go over your handle, like so. So you tighten that up. Now I like it if my handle is, so you can see that right now, it's on the handle. So then we grab our leader, and what I generally do is, you can have it as long as you want, but I'm just going to go a bit longer today. And then I do like you're supposed to pinch it here, but to keep the tightness, I actually I do like a little finger loop, don't know if you can see that, around my line. And that can allow me to hold the line in place, like so. So pinch, then I go under, and as you can see, there's a little knot there. Pinch, then I go under the other side, and back up. Pull together, pinch, under, pinch, sorry, and just keep doing it up and under. And each time you do it, you will feel it kind of click into place. Now, this will not be the best looking FG. This is actually just to show you how I do it out in the kayak. So pinch, under, pinch, under, pinch, under. Now, depending on the thickness of line, I say 1.5 centimeters to 2 centimeters long. If you're using 6-pound line, it takes more loops. If you're using like 20-pound line and 40-pound line and stuff, it's less loops. So once I get it to here, I do then go a half hitch. I'm just going to check this camera. Then I'm just going to do like a half inch on the high side first. So the side opposite to the handle, and then I just pinch that, pull that down, and then I'll do a second. Then I'll do one on the opposite side. Now this is how I do mine. Different people do them different. By this stage, that knot pretty much holds. Then I just do one on the opposite side. So now I end up back on the top. So I've done one high, one low, one high. High representing the tip, the low representing the handle. So now that pretty much holds itself. So now what I do is I cut the knot on this line here. So now we've got the knot. As you can see, we've done the knot. Then what we're going to take is the red leader knot and put it on the high side, up here. Now this is frayed into 3 different pieces, which I didn't mean to do. So the red leader knot on the high side. It's just going to be very hard to do right now, as you can tell. So the leader end tag, the small end, goes up the line back towards the reel, and then this, which would usually be just one line, not 3, is I actually half hitch it around, keep that tight, and pull it down. And I'll do that twice. Again, up and around the tag end. Then again, make sure it's tight and pull it down, and that's pretty much done. Like that, that is pretty tight now. That's not going to come off. And then for good measure, believe it or not, for good measure after that, I usually just do one little half inch of the leader tag. You know, unfortunately, this probably doesn't show up as good on video. And then you just cut off your tag ends, moisten it, tag it up, move it together. But that, I know it doesn't, it's not a very clear half inch, but that gives you a rough idea how I do it out on the kayak. And then literally cut off your tag ends. In this case, when you're using heavier stuff, you can melt it. But generally using 6 pound on that, it's just a case of just cut it. And then that's it. And then what you do then, which I can't really do, is you wind it up. I can't really do it because obviously using rope it won't go through that tiny little eyelet. But usually what I do is I see if it will actually go through. This is an old kid's rod, so I'm not that bothered with it. So basically you run it through the eyelet and you bring your leader all the way down to about here, just in front of your spool where your leader knot is, and then you bring it down, and then I actually measure it down to about the back of the handle. So you got this gap, so down to the handle here, just where the back of the reel seat, I should say. And then the leader knot will be here somewhere, you know, I don't know, 10 centimeters, 5 centimeters above the line. And then back behind the reel seat, cut it, and that way when you tie your first knot, it will be pretty much in line with the spool here. And then you've got a long leader, and that leader knot, obviously being an FG, will cast through your eyelets really smoothly, but you really don't want it to come into the bail arm here. It can get stuck in here. So there you go, that is how I do an FG on a kayak. Now I've done this in a boat in really rough seas. I generally do it when I'm at home even, just sitting there. I've got arthritis in my fingers, and I've got not much sensitivity in the tips of my fingers. That finger there got crushed severely many years ago. So I don't have that great of sensitivity in those fingers, but that's one way that I can do an FG knot and I know it's going to stay right. It allows you to free up your hand. You don't need that third hand. You're not wrapping around toes and fingers and all sorts of stuff. It's just a very easy way to do it. And like I said, thank you Anthony Morris at Bait and Tackle for teaching me that method. Hopefully that helps. And so when you see me do an FG knot, or you hear I've done an FG knot on the kayak, that's how I've done it. Well, that's it from me. I hope you enjoyed this little clip. If you want to see more videos like this, please leave a comment, like and subscribe, as everyone else has been doing lately, and hopefully I'll see you on the water. Have a good day.